皆さんこんにちは、ジョーです。今日はですね、ニュートラルトレードというオンチェーンにもう世界的に有名なヘッジファンドだったりとかいろんなファンドのストラテジーを持ち込んで我々がですね、普段だったら投資できないような商品に対して、投資をできるようにしてくれるというですね、プロダクトを開発しているチームにですね、来ていただきました。で、今日はですね、コファウンダーのジェアードさんに来ていただいているんですけれども、どんなプロダクトなのか、そしてどんな人たちが実際にこういったプロダクトを運用、開発しているのか、そして、彼らのビジョンなんかもですね、いろいろとお伺いできればと思います。Okay, thank you so much, Jared, for coming to my channel.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Your product is getting a lot of attention in the market. We'd like to know more about what you're building, and also the visions and so on.
Sure.
Do you mind, introducing yourself to the audience?
Yes, sure. So my name is Jared. I got into crypto in 2020 during the DeFi summer. I was super interested in farming all kinds of DeFi yield farming opportunities. But what really got me was Terra Luna when Do Kwon was announcing an anchor at the UST 20% yield. That's when I want to join full-time crypto. And eventually I went to a venture studio in Hong Kong to help bootstrap a crypto centralized exchange and, run that for around 2.5 years before starting Neutral Trade.
Why did the anchor got you interested in crypto?
So I'm very interested in allowing anyone to have access to high yield products. I think retail usually don't have any choices but to do time deposits in the bank, which are offering super low yield. At the same time, a lot of the retailers are forced to take excessive risks to make money, like buying different kind of Wall Street backed stocks or all kinds of high volatility crypto products. So having an earned product really attracts me back then when Do Kwon came up to say how to bring the masses to use their stablecoin is to first offer a good savings product. And that's why my product is also focused mainly on the yield aspects.
I see. Thank you. And how did you guys started this product or the project with your founders?
Yes. So when I was working in the centralized exchanges, we were also doing an earned product where we offer 8% APY a year to our users. But what happens in the back end is that we actually take custody of the users' funds and we run some delta neutral strategies on it. So back then, it was really hot to do funding rate arbitrage, where you can earn around 30 to 40% APY a year. So we actually get to earn a lot by, giving users 8% while we collecting 30% APY. And I suppose a lot of the exchange will do that to make yield. So that actually inspires me to know that, okay, there's a lot of traders doing this, and they're also offering these kind of service to rich people, to the institutions as well. There's a lot of traders trying to fundraise, launching their own market neutral fund to serve the rich. And I realized for myself as a retail, I want exposure to this kind of product. And that's why that actually inspired me to build Neutral Trade, because what if we can connect these kind of institutional traders with retail capital? Since, a lot of these traders just want to trade and they don't want to go out to pitch to fundraise. And I want to solve their pain points as well as solving my own pain points.
I see. That's amazing. Yeah. Now, I think, I don't remember the exact TVL at this moment, but I think since the launch, you guys have a very good traction from the market without doing marketing, right?
Yes, that's correct. So, I think that's the definition of product market fit. We found that pretty early when we launched in October. Thanks again for Joe advising us back then, discovering us, and getting us to submit our application to Colosseum, which have given us a lot of exposure. But the most importantly is the product. So the story begins when I was looking into all kinds of different yield products in DeFi. At the same time, my good friend, whom I've known for 10 years, back in London, he is a quant. He's been in the industry for 10 years, working as a quant trader, as a quant developer, trading US equities. And I realized that, he wanted to launch his own fund, but he does not have the expertise, legal expertise, or does not want to, go out to meet people to fundraise. And I realized that there's a big gap in the market where retail capital are very used to, putting their savings on RFA or Binance earned products, rather than some more sophisticated strategies that are normally sold to the institutions. So I realized that there's such a big market gap, and that's why I worked with this quant trader to say, how about we build some sophisticated quant strategies on crypto side and allow anyone to have access to it. So essentially, that's how Neutral Trade was born. We are here to solve the pain points of both traders and connect them to retails. And we co-started by building our own strategy. But eventually, we want to open up to become a launchpad for quant traders, where they can submit their strategies to us. We will be the creator. Eventually, we can decentralize this part as well, where you can have more contributors to create better strategies for the platform and allow anyone to have access to the strategies. And there will be all kinds of different risk ratings, looking at the volatility, drawdown, historical track record, to allow users to choose whatever they like on our platform.
I see. To get the TVL, I think especially around the beginning, there must be a really popular products. And then recently, I think you guys launched multiple very popular products. Can you go over some of the products that you really like or
Sure. So I think Neutral Trade wants to become a financial investment platform where you can have access to different kind of financial products. So the first pillar would be the active management side, which we call that Web3 Millennium, which is usually a multi-strategy, multi-manager hedge fund. And essentially, there will be a lot of different kind of market neutral strategies that is actively managed by the trader systematically. So it's managed by the computer rather than someone manually clicking buttons to trade for you. And the most popular product for now is our JLP Delta Neutral product, where we provide liquidity to Jupiter perps, allow traders to trade there in a lower slippage and more liquidity to trade. At the same time, we hedge the underlying exposure, underlying delta, to make sure our liquidity providers does not have any exposure to the market movement and the trader P&L. So what it means is that now users can provide liquidity to different DeFi projects without having exposure to impermanent loss as well as underlying asset exposure. And that's the value that we provide. And that strategy have returned 24% in under 7 months. So in annualized terms, that's much above 30 to 40% APY.
That's really great.
Thank you. Yes. And so that's the first pillar, active management. But we have also other popular products. There's also passive management, which is in TradFi, that's BlackRock. They launch ETFs. They charge management fee. So the first product we launched was called Hyper JLP, which is like a small improvement of JLP, where we swap the ETH in JLP into Hyperliquid. So and as well as moving Solana into DSO, which is like a LST, liquid staking token, which inherently earn yield for the users. So it's basically an index of Solana, Bitcoin, as well as Hyperliquid. And we earn some yield on the stable portion as well. And it's an index against JLP, where we outperform it because Hype have been pumping against ETH, as well as the underlying assets have been earning yield. So it's a good index product that people who are bullish in the market and want to have a diversified exposure to the market. And our team also think these are the free assets to hold for the next year or so. And that's why we decided to launch something that ourselves will use as well for our users. So that's the passive management part. The third pillar is the lending part, which, in TradFi, banks usually do lending to make money. And that's 80% of their income. And it's also something that we want to help because other DeFi projects, code starting is usually the hardest. Like how do you get TVL in to allow usage for a product?
So this is lending to the other DeFi protocol.
So this is the lending to the other DeFi protocol. And we try to support other DeFi protocol by syndicating deals, syndicating funds, and provide liquidity to other DeFi projects, where we will negotiate the terms, we'll do due diligence to make sure the teams are legit and have funds to back if they have any exploits happening. Where in exchange, they will give us token incentives, which we will direct it back to our users. So yeah, we have active management, we have passive management, and then we have lending. And these are the three major pillars that we plan to continue to expand on. The final part is called a structured product, which is very similar to, Michael Burry asking Goldman Sachs to, let me short the housing market. So what Goldman Sachs did is that they did a credit default swap and sold it to Michael Burry. And that's essentially what we did. We have built a JLP traders rec vault where we create a synthetic exposure of the inverse trader P&L, which means you are betting that the traders will lose money. So if you are betting against them, it means that if the traders lose money, you make money. And it's actually at one point it was super popular, where it has around a couple million in TVL during the downturn of the markets, because that vault has been printing for a lot of our users since a lot of the users are net long in the market, and that vault is kind of net short in the market, and it has been making a lot of money, betting on traders losing. And we plan to create more of these synthetic products for allowing any assets, any users to have exposure to have allow them to express the exposure in the markets by betting on our structured products. So we have other stuff like Bitcoin dominance, where people love to bet on Bitcoin dominance keep on going up. There's a fast coin dominance where maybe some form of meme coins will continue to do well. And yeah, so that's kind of what we do. There's also pairs trading, where if you want to express your interest of Solana flipping Ethereum, that's also a good vault where we long Solana and then short ETH and periodically rebalance it to make sure the ratings are equal. So yeah, we make it super simple for you to bet on the outcomes in our strategies. Yeah. So yeah, that's the four major pillars.
That's amazing. Thank you. And I think what are the major, I think my perception is differences between traditional vault providers, I would say, and also you guys is, I think lending part is really, I think, a big difference. Previously, I think people just run the strategy for, the depositors or LP, but now you have more space to collaborate with others. So then, TVL could scale a lot, and then they can provide, something. It could be a potential airdrop to your users. So traders or users may have more incentive to deposit their asset to you.
Yes, indeed. We feel that it's a very good opportunity for our users as well, because as a VC, when you invest in a project, you might lose all of your money. So the risk is actually pretty high. But for liquidity provision deals with other projects, you are actually kind of principal protected, where you are guaranteed that you won't lose your principal, but you earn additional interest on it, as well as the token upside, which are kind of sponsored by the VCs that have a bet on the team. So you actually get good interest plus token upside by doing these kind of lending deals. And that's why that's going to be one of our focus as well, to help other DeFi projects to bootstrap their liquidity. And we are equally incentivized to help them to succeed, since we earn the tokens in the end for our users.
That's great. But at the same time, to construct all the strategies, this is very not easy for anyone or everyone.
Yeah.
And how do you guys manage to come up with the strategy, but also construct, things on the blockchain or on the back end? You have to
Yes.
do a lot of stuff, right?
Yes. So we have a very, very solid team that's super experienced from quant trading to crypto super native engineers, which are super fluent in EVM and as well as Rust. So yeah, I totally trust my team to execute the strategies. And the usual flow is usually, I come up with an idea, I do some research on the market to see what yields there are, and I'll go back and discuss with the team to see whether the strategy is scalable to accept more capital in where we can offer it to our users. And our quant will do backtest, will do a lot of analysis. Our tech back-end person will write the strategies and will equally cross-check the code. And then we'll have a few rounds of testing before we launch it to the public. So we have a lot of data monitoring to make sure the strategy is super safe before we launch. And yeah, that's what we have been doing for the past 8 months. And we've returned 2 million in P&L for our users.
That's amazing. And it seems like the product is not just for the retails, but also for a lot of institutions potentially. What are the current user base and where they're coming from?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think when I look at the data, we have around 60% retail, but 40% whales and institutions. So some of the institutions are actually liquid funds that they are running their own market neutral strategy on CeFi, and they don't have any exposure or any expertise in DeFi. So they would rather open a VIP vault with us and we offer them yield. So it's around there 60 to 40%.
That's very interesting for multiple aspects. But liquid fund provides LP to you, and then they generate yield.
Yes.
Wow.
That's correct.
So so that means you guys are actually capable of running the liquid funds too, to some extent.
Yeah, that's kind of the direction we are focusing on, where there's tons of family offices, institutions that are waiting to enjoy the DeFi yield. And we feel that in CeFi, the trade is very, very crowded. The yield has been, dropping since, more and more people are doing it. And Ethena have taken a big portion of the market. So a lot of these funds are starting to look into DeFi to earn yield. And we are in the biggest position or prime to have the expertise to do so. So we may do and neutral trade institutions in the future where we focus on serving the institutions on our DeFi yield, and that would be a big boost on our TVL as well.
I see. Yeah, I think a lot of time people in DeFi or maybe in Japan or Asia especially because of the Terra Luna incident and other things, people are kind of scared about what kind of risk they're really taking.
Yep.
What do you think about the transparency?
Yes. So I think the industry has improved a lot since then. There's a lot of incidents where of exploits of smart contract hacks, as well as economic attack in the past that the industry has learned about, where the risk is getting lower and lower every day, as well as the teams are getting more experience. A lot of the builders that I've met here is usually have 4 to 5 years of crypto experience. They have been working in a few DeFi projects before starting their own company. So I do feel that it's important to trust the team, but at the same time, you need to also do due diligence to make sure the smart contract codes, make sure the audit reports are all good to go. As the time matures, we also know which audit firms are better than others as well, where you can trust the credibility of some certain audit firms. But at the end, there's more and more tools like Hypernative, tracking all kinds of real-time monitoring of different DeFi projects where you can get notified if anything bad happens in a certain DeFi project. But the advice I would give to anyone is that, there's one thing you can do to mitigate counterparty risk, which is diversification. So always diversify your products. So always diversify your investment as well. So, as a team, we also diversified from, Jupiter, Drifts, to CeFi, to Hyperliquid, to different kind of DeFi projects to earn a, balanced, diversified yield. So yeah, if you're a user of NT, feel free to try out, different kind of vaults that we offer. There's no one single big best vault out there. There's also usually a mix between return and risk. So that's still free lunch.
Sounds great. Yeah. So I think you already kind of touched upon it, but what are the roadmaps ahead that we can kind of, wait and see and get excited about?
Yeah. So, a lot of our users are retail as well as, some of them being whales as well as institutions. But we are, heavily pushing on serving other DeFi projects as well. If you look at the landscape in Solana or other DeFi projects, when they are building the products, the only way they can attract users is not actually the product, but the yield or the user experience, but usually it's the yield. So we realized if we focus more on the yield, we'll be able to serve a lot of our, DeFi companions in the space. So first example is that we are serving DeFi carrots for over 6 months. They are one of our first 2B business where we offer yield to them to boost their CRT token. But next, we are going to work with Piranha, where we offer yield to their stablecoin so they can continue to bootstrap their stablecoin to have more utility. So yeah, our major focus will be focusing on generating all the yield, aggregating from Solana side, from anywhere in the EVM side, as well as the CeFi side. So the next on the roadmap is, we'll have Copper Clear Loop and Cephu to allow the traders to execute the trades on the CeFi venues. That's one directional strategy that I have not mentioned before, is that we have an external trader giving us the trading signal where we execute the trade on DeFi venues like Drift for our users. It was working super well when we were testing with low amounts, like 20 to 30K. But when we opened up the vault to 500K, where the vault was filled within 1 hour, the results immediately dropped due to the liquidity of DeFi venues. So we realized that to really scale to do more high frequency trading strategies, we have to move to CeFi venues or Hyperliquid. But CeFi is usually better due to the privacy. A lot of the traders that we have spoken to, they don't want to leak alpha. And hence the best way is to do a sub-accounts to them, allow them to trade here. And we mirror the P&L back to Cold Wallet Vault, back to our users. So users can track the P&L. They know the trader are making money. We can help the trader build an on-chain track record, but at the same time, they cannot see or copy his trading positions. So we provide the privacy of the trader while we provide the transparency of the P&L to our users. So that's kind of the model we are taking next. At the same time, Hyperliquid is also a very liquid venue. There's a lot of traders trading there. But due to the public positions, we are not, attracting external traders to trade on Hyperliquid. We'll ourselves do the trading strategies on Hyperliquid in the future as well to bring the yield to Solana. But yeah, the entrance will always be in Solana due to we realized that the retail base or the new joiners in crypto all have a phantom wallet to buy meme coins. And a lot of our users, when I spoke to them, is that they've made their money on meme coins. They've made 500K, 1 mil in meme coins. And they want something safe to earn yield. And when you have that large capital, you want to earn yield safely. And that's why they talk to us and, open up a VIP vault for them.
Sounds great. So I think time is kind of running up. So
Yes.
Do you mind sending some message to my audience? Not necessarily Japanese, but potential users of yours.
Yeah, hi. Very glad to speak to all of you guys. Hope to get more feedback to join our Discord or Telegram. Feel free to ask any questions. Happy to answer. I'm always the best customer support in the team. I'm able to answer any questions that you may have. And I'm, very happy to see if you can, use our products and, always happy to make money for you. So unlike other projects, we make money by helping you make money. So we only charge when you make money because we charge a performance fee when you withdraw. So if we lose money for you, we actually don't get charged. So we think that there's the best incentive alignment in crypto where, we make money together. And we hope that, if you deposit with us, we'll, work super hard to help you generate yield. And same for us. We'll put our own money into our own products too.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Jared.
Thank you, Joe.